attack us. We owe them too much money.
You're fantasizing, brother. You're fantasizing.
They
Listen,
own us, man. Come on.
They own you, maybe. They don't own me.
If I owed you $3.5 million,
358 billion.
Would you kill me? Would you wait until I paid you that $3.5 million?
No, if you didn't pay, I'd
back?
kill you.
Yeah, but then how are you going to get your money?
Look, in international affairs, it's no different than if you're in the hood and you owe somebody money. He's going to smash up your nice Lincoln Continental just to be spiteful if he has to. I don't think human affairs between nations is any different. They'll try and get us one way or the other. As we said in previous shows, China's waiting for us to self-implode so that they can attain hegemony.
The whole world's waiting for us to self-implode, and we're doing a pretty good job of doing it. Okay, now let's talk about world affairs for a minute.
You got to bring that up.
We have to talk about this, okay? Baby daddy and baby mama. Vlad, okay?
Vlad the Impaler, no less.
Mr. Putin. Let's talk about him. Now, I'll tell you what, this guy...
What newspaper is that, the Post?
Well, I was trying to hide it so that,
we don't get a loss. Oh, it is the New York Post, but I didn't say it was, but it is the New York Post. You got to admit, the New York Post does have some pretty creative headlines.
Now, I'm going to tell you right now, man, this guy, he's definitely a type A personality and somewhat of a macho guy, I think.
Why? Because he impaled, how old is that girl?
Because now what I'm saying
She Monica Lewinsky's age? All right.
Please leave the.
I couldn't resist that. You stepped into that left hook.
But I don't know. This could be his Monica, except the fact that I don't think Vlad here is married for one thing, and she's willing apparently. Well, then so was Monica.
Mr. Murdoch,
but the difference is, she just had his kid. Okay. Now,
where did she give birth?
It's somewhere in Sweden, I think it's.
She gave birth in Switzerland. You see, brothers think all white people are alike. Sweden, Switzerland, it makes no difference. I just outed you, brother.
You're being racist.
It's Switzerland, brother.
All you people, you're being racist.
Okay. And all you people conservatives. All right?
Right?
It goes both ways here.
Okay, gotcha.
It's Switzerland.
Right. Duly noted. Okay. No, but here's my thing, all right? You got to give it up to Vlad here, okay? Because, I mean, let's face it. He's 62. She's 31.
That's not unusual.
No, it's not unusual, but I'm just saying, hey, obviously the plumbing is still working, if you catch my drift.
You
right?
know, Mr. Murdoch, we talked about this in the limousine before it broke down and had to be taken to the shop because it overheated. The problem with Mr. Vlad is that he's impaling at his age. But the other problem
is... You don't see it as a problem.
What does it say for a leader of, like, the Russian Republic that he doesn't even want his baby mommy to have her baby in motherland Russia? He takes her to Switzerland to have the baby.
Maybe he's planning
does the baby become an instant Swiss citizen?
Now, see, I don't know. I don't know if they have those wacky laws around the rest of the world like we do here, where if you're born in America, you're automatically an American citizen.
Repeat that, Mr. Murdoch. What did you just say?
I don't know if I don't know if the rest of the world has that.
Has what?
That wacky law that says that if you are born, I mean, you could have two people come here from Pago, right? And they may not be in the country illegally, but if they have a child here, that child is
an American
citizen.
So in other words, that child becomes an anchor child for the rest of the immediate and extended family? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but like I'm saying, I don't know if we're the only country in the world that does this. You didn't know that?
The Attorney General of the United States of America should be looking into this, because this type of policy is definitely... Well, no, that would be the Congress. The Congress needs to get together and say, look, just because you come here and have a child doesn't mean that you're instantly giving us new citizenry.
Now, if you're going to go there, okay, let's look at it this way. You know you got to blame for that? You're founding...
Clinton.
No. Not everything happened in the 20th century, you know. No, our founding fathers, one of the big screw-ups they made was setting that up. That law has been in place as long as there has been a United States of America.
I think you're correct.
If you're born in this country, you're automatically an American citizen. What the reasoning was for that, I don't know. But like I said, my question is, I've never been clear on this, are we the only country in the world that does that?
Mr. Murdoch, I'm not sure, but I believe we are one of the few, if not the only one. I'm not sure if a child born in Great Britain is considered to be a citizen of the Crown.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if a child born in Germany I don't think so, since I've lived there, would be considered to be a German citizen. I believe that America really is the foremost, and I think it's economic for various reasons. They're looking to, have, immigration by hook or crook, and it also includes anchor babies and everything else. It's not a sensible immigration policy. And I would consider a woman coming here from China, because there was something in the news recently about a baby mill. I think it was up in New Hampshire or somewhere around there. Did you hear about it? Where Chinese women were giving birth to more than several thousand babies, or up to 100,000 each year in this one facility for many years, until the feds just raided it a few months ago. Or not a few months, a few weeks ago. I saw it in the news.
Now, Peter's always talking about the puppy mills. Why ain't they talking about this? I mean, this is worse than puppy mills, okay? Okay, I'm going to put on my, moderate as conservative hat on for just a second here, okay?
Please do.
I think it's time that we got rid of that law that says you're automatically an American citizen.
I think and everybody else within earshot agrees that just because you come here on a tourist visa, give birth, it shouldn't mean that your child immediately becomes an American citizen, thereby allowing you, your family, your extended family and friends, and everyone else you think is related to you, U.S. citizenship or a pathway to that.
Now, in defense of our founding fathers, I mean, there was no way they could see in the future. So I don't think they had no way of knowing that this country would have the illegal immigration problems that we have in this day and age. Otherwise, they might have thought twice about that.
You call it a problem. Liberals call it the idea that no human being is illegal. Everybody has a right to be anywhere they want, in any country they want, despite the rules or laws of that country. This is what the liberal mentality mandates. So if you're saying you're coming here having a child, that child is allowed to be here. It has a right to be here. Why though?
Well, once again, putting on my independent moderate hat, and this time I'm going to call out the liberals. If that's what you think, you're full of it.
I think that liberals need to call the show. I wish that you liberals would call our show. And
please call the show.
Well, we're not going to give out our real phone numbers at the moment
please call the show and show everybody what a real liberal is, so this guy will quit accusing me of being one when I disagree with him.
I don't accuse you, Mr. Murdoch, of being a liberal. I know that you're more libertarian-minded, but you have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, as though you think you're a liberal. I've outed you again. Part 3.
Now, I think I'm a liberal.
That's why I'm Mandrake.
Anything but.
I would like you to take a look at that president there in the back screen and tell me, what do you think? Is he joking around, or is that how he really looks? Was that the race card he's playing?
What? It looks like he's playing a harmonica.
Yeah, the race card. Well, I don't know if Obama plays the race card, but
and smoking a cigarette.
Hey, listen, that's not all he smoked. From what I understood.
He must have snuck out because apparently Michelle doesn't like him doing the cigarette thing.
My God!
She heard me.
Michelle is a very angry woman. Here is at the funeral of Nelson Mandela.
Now, you remember that picture? Yeah.
Yeah, remember? Tell me about that picture so the audience can get some context.
I think she's like the French first lady, and
from the Netherlands.
She and Barack were getting a little
too
bit
close.
And,
some jungle love was apparently beginning to brew.
And apparently there was a little bit of flirtation going on there, and
Michelle put him right in his place.
And Michelle wasn't taking it too well. Wouldn't you have loved to have been a fly on the wall in the Oval Office bedroom?
Well, I wouldn't mind playing. Would you mind playing golf with President Obama as things are blowing up around?
We at it, Mr. Hussein Obama, who I am married to.
What did you call? So you're always accusing me of calling him Hussein?
I was being. Michelle.
You think Michelle calls him Hussein?
Well, there's no telling what she calls him when she gets mad at
him,
as she clearly was in that picture. But
Mr. Murdoch, picture this, a cage fight, WWF style.
WWE. Get up at the time, man.
I'm sorry. My brother, that's why I need you here. You're a lot younger than me. Oh, you older.
Michelle? WWF went out of existence when the World Wildlife Fund claimed their name, causing them
to their name? Oh, my God. I would have
causing them
definitely
to have to change it to WWE. Anyway.
Michelle, what's her middle name?
I don't know. I know her maiden name is Robinson.
Well, we know what she looks like when she gets nasty.
She might be using that as her middle name now. I don't know.
Michelle Obama in a cage match against Barack Hussein Obama. He's dressed up like a sheik. She's dressed up like Chewbacca.
Now, wait a minute. Why would it have to be? No, why does this have to be a domestic
dispute.
I thought
that's how we settle things. It's the United Nations of politics.
I thought you were going to say her versus the Netherlands chick that was getting a little jiggy.
Who do you think would win an actual brawl, Michelle or Barack?
Actually,
I think Michelle she'll light him.
I kind of tend to think, she might,
I kind of think he will get lit up by her. I think he's a little afraid of her. That's why.
Especially if it's a hardcore match where weapons are involved. Here comes the frying pan.
I don't think she's going to hit him with a frying pan. I honestly see her throwing blows at him. And I'm not talking about the Monica Lewinsky type blows either. I'm sorry, I can't get this out of my head. We got to make this more PG oriented. I'm sorry to the audience. I apologize. Can we please edit that out?
Okay. All right.
So Vlad, see what happens when you start talking about Vlad the Impaler.
Okay. Well, in that case, let's kind of switch gears here.
Yes.
I want to talk about. I was trying to think about a good name for this segment. I want the like stupid news or whatever. That's kind of overused. I was trying to think of a original title that fits the show.
Retard news.
Yeah, that's actually a good one. You should.
I mean,
because a lot of this is retard stuff. But okay, I tell you what, we might do that on the next show. For this show, we'll call it World on Crack News. Okay,
I agree.
Okay,
sounds like a good news
because it seems like the whole world is on crack nowadays. All right, so here's story number one. Okay. It seems that he had a double vision and a double standard. One of the Secret Service agents suspected of drunkenly slamming into a White House barricade earlier this month announced last year that the agency has a zero tolerance for alcohol abuse.
Please, are you kidding me?
Senior Washington field officer agent George Ogilvy made the comment while working as the agency's spokesman after one Secret Service agent passed out drunk in a Dutch hotel and another crashed a car in Florida within the space of a couple of weeks in March 2014.
I wish I joined the Secret Service.
Now he's up here, slamming fellow agents for doing something that obviously was not right. And now here he's doing the same thing.
Well, let's face it. The Secret Service has a tough job. They get to fly all over the world. They get to have guns, and they have a lot of power. They don't even have to wear a uniform.
And hookers
they have nice
in some
suits.
countries.
They get hookers. They get to drink and pretend that they, are protecting the president. In the meantime, most of them really do drink a lot. You know what happens?
Well, if you had a job where you could be expected at any moment's notice to take a bullet for the president, wouldn't you down a few?
Actually, I wouldn't.
No, I would.
I wouldn't. It's not about them taking a bullet for the president. It's a lot of fun. Let's face facts here. They probably take it a little casually.
With the hookers.
What happens is the Secret Service is not just the presidential security detail. The Secret Service has a lot of different departments. The guys protecting the president have a pretty cushy job. Lots of money, lots of prestige, lots of high. They're in the limelight in some respect. What do? I'm a Secret Service man. What do? I'm Murdoch from the Mandrake Radio Show. Huh? What? No, you want to be the Secret Service guy with some beer, getting drunk.
Exactly. Hey, perks of the job. Okay, story number 2, okay? Let's throw the book at this guy, all right?
Now, wait a minute. What about the justices of the Supreme Court? One is passed out on the right, and the other one on the left, Bruce Bader Ginsburg, is like drunk too. Speak of Secret Service.
Apparently he was out drinking with a Secret Service guy.
Who's the one on the right? Is that the Sotomayor?
That looks like her. Yep.
Well, why does she look like she's depressed? She's in the.
No, she looks like she's got to go to the bathroom. Actually.
I think she's depressed. Oh, what did I sign up for, man? This is boring, man. When I was a wise Latina and bad-mouthing everybody, it was a lot more fun. Now I got to sit here in a black robe looking bored. But why is Ruth Bader Ginsburg like heads down? Is she going? Who's that guy in the middle? Is that his name? What's his name?
That looks like Souter or Kennedy. I don't know.
Why?
I have no faith.
Why is Ruth Bader Ginsburg's head going low down to his she's keeling over?
Don't even go there.
Is this another
man.
Lewinsky attack here?
Hey, this is a family show. Don't even go there.
Well, look at her. Oh no, she looks passed out from alcohol.
Well, she does have some health issues. Okay, so that's probably.
Well, that's why there should be term limitations on the Supreme Court, especially when they act like her.
Okay. Anyway, all right. Moving on to other world on crack news.
Yeah, you see, you're gonna get me in trouble.
Let's throw you're getting yourself in trouble.
I didn't say that. You brought it up.
Let's throw the book at the candidate for the Kentucky lieutenant governor who was arrested for failing to turn in a library book more than a decade ago.
Oh, I heard about that.
Jonathan
Oh, my
Masters,
God.
33, was driving to a TV interview when a cop pulled him over for having expired tags. The officer ran his name and found that he had a warrant out for theft by failure to make required deposition of property 11 years ago.
My God, I'm glad I handed in all my library
So
books.
now
that I
you
had.
know, ladies and gentlemen, the library has no statute of
Ladies and
limitations.
gentlemen, years ago in the 80s, I used to take books out at a certain undisclosed library location here in the tri-state, trifecta area. And what happened is I just didn't want to bring them back. It's not that I was too lazy. I live
It
right
was
next
too
door to the
cheap to go
library.
out and buy
I
'em.
wanted the books to look at, not really read. And one year I got like letters in the mail. And they gave me a whole list, and it was coming from the main branch in 42nd Street. And when I tried to turn my life around and go back to go to college and start to turn over a new leaf, I decided to turn over the new leaf. I got to return these books. The last letter I got from the New York Public Library said, "You appear to be a hopeless case, and we're gonna come after you," or something to that effect. And I paid. I went back. They cut a deal with me. I paid a little bit, much less than the 5 cents per day fine. And everything was set right. So I'm glad, because I wouldn't want them coming after me for not returning those library books.
It's pretty bad when the New York Public Library calls you homeless.
That's-
hopeless. And even
No, they
sends you
did.
a letter
I
calling
have the
you
letter,
homeless.
yes. And I tell you this much. Look, if I go to
mean-
jail, they're going to say, "What you in here for?" Well, I didn't return that copy of Empire about Howard Hughes and by Steele and Bartlett. Really, brother, man? I didn't return that copy of Mein Kampf from Obama.
Oh, God.
It was
Okay.
at Hitler, whoever it was.
Boy. All right, moving right along here. Okay, now talk about unlucky. Check this out, okay? A Florida man who left his car running while he bought lottery tickets really needs the money now, because while he was in the store buying the lottery ticket, a thief swiped his ride.
What's so funny about that?
The unlucky 42-year-old was playing a scratch-off game when the crook hopped in his 2004 Infiniti and sped off at a Boynton Beach gas station.
Well, I guess Eric Holder's going to have to investigate that. What was the circumstances?
Hey, I just said it. The guy went in to buy a lottery ticket, did not bother to shut his car off. Obviously,
Well,
left
what
the car
town is it
locked,
from? Where's
and
that news flash from?
This is from Florida, Boynton Beach,
Oh,
Florida.
see, that's your first mistake. Don't trust anybody over 30 in Florida at a 7-Eleven store.
Man, are you having 60s flashbacks? Don't trust anybody over 30?
You know, it's funny you should say that. This is why, Mr. Murdoch. There was a recent rebroadcast of Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston.
The original Planet.
The original
of the
one.
Apes.
And there's a young, I guess he's supposed to be an adolescent ape, and he's sort of like the hippie ape. And then Charlton Heston says to him, the kid keeps the character in this movie keeps saying, "Oh man, you adults." He's talking to Cornelius, and he's talking to the older, what's his name, Dr. Zayas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't trust you. How do I know you're going to do the right thing? I can't trust anybody over 20. And then Charlton Heston says, "I know what you feel like. Never trust anybody over 30." So I guess they were trying to throw in some cultural commentary into that film.
Yeah, because remember that movie was made in the early 70s.
68.
Which was deep. Yeah,
67 and released in 68.
We were knee deep in the hippie era, so yeah, naturally they're going to throw topical stuff.
Mr.
in
Murdoch,
the
may I ask a question? It's a serious question. The audience may be interested in it. What was a hippie? 'Cause I never met hippies here in the undisclosed location. I remember the platform shoes, but I don't remember the long hair and the free love or anything. I missed on that.
Well, you're too young to have remembered the hippies. Now, I actually do remember the hippies because I was...
I've outed him again.
I was a young... I was 9 years old when the hippies were around. I was too young to be a hippie, and I wasn't
Train
raised
him young.
by one.
Get him
I
indoctrinated
I
young.
wasn't raised by hippies either.
You were in a hippie commune?
I was... These people hear just exactly what they want to hear.
These people. Oh, another comment. Let me record that.
No, the closest I came to being a hippie was, even as a young child, I used to watch the news. I was always interested in it, always a news junkie. And I'll never forget, in 1969, while a 9-year-old kid, and I'm laying on the living room floor watching the CBS Evening News with Walter Cronkite, and my mom was in the living room with me, and she had the ironing board set up, and she was ironing her clothes. And they showed the story about what was going on at Woodstock, and I had just started listening to rock and roll music at that point. Okay, so I was kind of like, okay, and this is a story about actually, naturally some rock and roll bands that were appearing at Woodstock, and I was looking up at the TV and I saw all these people that were playing these songs that I heard on the radio, and my mom was right next to me ironing clothes, and I tugged her on her skirt and I said, "Mama," she says, "What is it, boy?" And I pointed at the TV. It's like, "I want to go."
You wanted to go to Woodstock at 9?
Yeah. But
Wow,
I
man.
didn't. Now keep in mind, I didn't know anything about the drugs and the bad acid.
It's a good
and all
thing.
That stuff. I just saw the music, right? And Mom, it was priceless. Her reaction. She says, "You too young, boy. Don't
Well,
even
speaking
think
of the
about it."
'60s, I have a bit of
That's the closest I came to being a hippie.
Mr. Murdoch, were the black radicals of the '60s hippies, or were they empowered by hippies, or in cahoots with hippies?
Now, there were some blacks that were kind of like the radicals that followed the Black Panthers and all the other organizations out there that were kind of like going down the Malcolm X path. Remember, now this is after Martin Luther King was assassinated. All right,
Right.
But then you had a lot of also you had a lot of younger blacks who were more interested in following Dr. King's vision and saying, hey, let's forget about the past. Let's try to build a bridge and be brothers and sisters.
It's funny you should mention that,
And
because
I was in that camp.
it seems like there were three aspects to the latter half of the 1960s which were so transformative in American history. You mentioned Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his
my
movement.
personal hero. Yeah.
Right. I remember reading a book about him when I was actually at the library. I took the books. I don't know if that's one book. I probably didn't return that one. That was one of the books that I probably kept. It was called Let the Trumpets Sound. It was about Martin Luther King Jr., and it was written in the early 70s. Let the Trumpets Sound. But if you talk about the trifecta of different movements all in play at the same time in the late 60s, you would probably have Martin Luther King and the mainstream civil rights movement, the Southern Christian Leadership Council. Then you had the militant movement of Black America, which included, in the beginning, Malcolm X and others. And I don't profess to speak authoritatively on this. I don't know exactly. And you had the Black Panthers and so forth. And then you had the hippies, all working in the same confluence. And these ideas were like getting exchanged back and forth.
Right.
And then you had disco. Where'd that come from? Is that an oversimplification? you think?
Disco, I think, was where things really started to go bad.
Well, musically at least.
I'll tell you, I say
And I think a lot of disco is good.
See.
Oh, see these people. These people.
No, it wasn't of these people. It's see what I said about the iPad in his head? Like I said, Barry Manilow and the Carpenters, 1 minute.
I love them so
the
much.
next minute, it's disco.
Well, I would like to have a quick.
No, in the interest of full disclosure,
Yes, sir.
and I was not, like I said earlier, I hate rap, okay? At least the modern version.
The early
of it.
rap you did like, because we did play it in my studio.
Yeah, but
you liked the earlier stuff.
And I was definitely not a fan of disco either. Though I did like Donna Summer and some of the Bee Gees stuff, okay?
Of course.
All right, but one of my fantasies is if they ever perfect that time machine, I would like to go back to the early
time
70s,
machine
the,
with the
ear-
Eloy.
the early 70s when Barry White was in prison. Go to where he was and kill him. Because Barry White is credited as being the father of disco. So if you kill Barry White, no disco. Okay.
You know something, Mr. Murdoch? You've been notched down in my pantheon of influential music soothsayers
Why
in
is
this
that?
particular comment.
Why is that?
Barry White was one of the most loving, great, creative songwriters.
no,
His
no,
music
no,
was
no,
very
no,
good,
no, no,
especially when it was
Let
with
me-
Love Unlimited.
Let me explain. When I say that, I like Barry White. I like his music. I'm just saying if the part about him being credited as being the father of disco, which I hated, is the reason why I want to kill him.
Well, who was the father of disco? I think the Bee Gees were pretty early on in the disco movement as well.
No. The Bee Gees kind of came along. They were kind of like the next level of what Barry White started. You can look it up. He's credited as being the father of disco.
Barry White.
Barry White.
And his disco didn't even sound like disco.
And to tell you the truth, I really don't get why he's credited as being the father of disco, because to me the music he made didn't really sound like
You're
it.
trying to tell me that this Love Unlimited Orchestra, this piece was composed by Barry White. You
Yes.
don't like that? I could get into
He doesn't listen. I just said I like Barry White. I like his music. I'm just saying that as far as the part about him being credited as being the father of disco is why I would go back in time and kill him.
But brother love, when you start talking about killing a brother because there's a misunderstanding, all I heard is kill. All I know is that Barry is like the man.
Barry was the
And as
man.
a
He's been
white
dead.
man,
He's been dead a few years.
Barry White was as cool as they come. He was a very nice man. He had a lovely voice. Is he in the same character as Teddy Pendergrass?
Yeah, I would say probably. I mean, he had that same smooth groove going.
I think Pendergrass with Mrs. Jones was a little.
No.
Oh, I messed it up.
That was not Teddy Pendergrass.
I'm sorry.
That was Billy Paul.
You earned your
Kind of like
beer.
a one-hit wonder. He had a big career as an R&B singer, Billy Paul, but that was his number one as far as a crossover hit. Yeah. But Teddy Pendergrass, he was pretty bad in his own right too. Yeah.
He was from England, I think, wasn't he?
No, I don't think so.
Well, listen, when
you might want to Google that. I thought
when Simmons called in last week from Kiss, he outed you as being wrong.
I thought he was from Philadelphia. I could be wrong, but
Now, how would you compare this loving, peaceful music to this particular piece of music? Tell me, what is the difference between?
I'm almost afraid of what he's going to drag up now. Okay, all right.
Tell me.
Go ahead.
What is the difference between
God,
Barry
here
White?
we go with that.
I got to get this out my system. I want to know, how does Barry
Before we
compare to
came
this?
on the air, he's been listening to this all day. It's some German techno crap. Sounds like Brock Lesnar's theme song from WWE.
It does sound like a WWE wrestling song.
Here comes the pain.
But, Mr. Murdoch. Mr. Murdoch, how does Barry White compare to this German metal group?
It doesn't, because Barry White was better than that.
All right, so the truth comes out.
I never said I didn't like Barry White's music. How many times do I have to explain that?
Well, for full disclosure, make your point in 3 sentences or less about Barry, and this way we can put this to rest.
Barry White was a musical virtuoso. He was a musical genius. He did great music. I spent many an hour listening to his music. His music still gets played on the radio today if you listen to CBS 101 FM.
Absolutely.
But it's like I said, I got nothing but respect for the man and what he accomplished musically, except for the part where being credited as being the father of disco. That's why I will go in time and kill him. All right. Okay, we're being told we're running out of time. I guess we're going to kill hard ass.
9. Hey, listen, Mr. Murdoch, we have to go. We would like our audience to know that we do have a email address. It's westerntradition@hotmail.com, westerntradition@hotmail.com. I'm Lionel Mandrake. This is my trusty co-host,
Matt Murdoch, whose name he did not mangle this week.
Thank you so much, and that took a lot of practice. I would like to mention one thing to you, please, Mr. Murdoch. This one particular song, which I'd like to end with.
We got 14 seconds, man.
We got 14 seconds, so we're going to end it with this particular song right here. We're gonna. We're gonna.
You're not gonna get it in time, folks. It's been great. It's been real. Unfortunately, it ain't been real great. We'll see you next week.
So we would like.
Oh my God.
We would like to end to our vast audience out there. We love you. We just want peace and harmony between the peoples.
See what I mean about the iPod in his hand? I would love to see that.
I love my audience. Matt Murdoch loves our audience.
Paul Marriott, 1968.
How did you know that? How did you know that?
Because I have a good memory.
Mr. Murdoch, before we close out, it's not, we still have you're trying to run out of here. All right,
since we got 1 minute, okay.
Well, I'm going to pull something else up. I want the audience to hear this one particular song, which tells me I don't even know
Got
if
any
I hope
Black
this.
Sabbath in there? Okay, I think I know what he's looking for. This is the song.
We were gonna have this as our theme song, but we viewed it to be too depressing. So in the next 30 seconds, remember, people, feel the music and don't fall into the pitfalls of hateful rap.
Now, wait a minute. Okay, no. Oh, I get it. Okay, yeah. That song is.
Say goodbye,
Goodbye.
my little friend. Western Tradition at hotmail.com.
Good night.
I hope you enjoyed the show.
Let the